I want to do a video basically on my thoughts on a video I saw by Abba and Preach. I find it so very much, um, so very much weird, um, the ideas people have in their heads basically on, I don't even know how to really do this video, but I guess how I'm gonna say it is this. Abba and Preach did a video basically on this guy being saved by surveillance, basically, and the surveillance basically showed that um, he picked up a girl from the bar who was making out with him and took him to her room, and they were saying that basically it concluded that it was consent. Now the thing is, for me, is I was confused by this because I was like, now how does kissing somebody and taking them to your room imply consent? Like, if that was the case, then like when people, for example, just like for one, I always thought people were always very conscious of like if somebody was coming over your house as a friend, I never thought that that would mean consent. Like there's so many reasons someone could come over your house. People you date, for example, can come over your house and you still don't have sex with them. Like I saw that, it was concerning to me because it's like, so you mean to tell me you could date somebody, you could make out with somebody, and it would be totally legal for them to not take your consent and just have their way with you, basically, if you invited them into your house? Like, I don't understand. How does that have to do with evidence showing that somebody didn't consent or did consent? Like, that to me doesn't pertain to consent. How does consent come from, you know, how does consent have to do with somebody, like somebody having, you know, a relationship with someone or, you know, a date with someone? To me, that doesn't imply consent or not. Some people are married and are, taken advantage of, let alone somebody dating someone. People are taken advantage of with dating all the time. And yes, they may have kissed them. Yes, they may have invited them into their house. They know them, they're familiar with them. That does not mean that they want to have sex with them right then and there. It doesn't. I know for myself personally, like I've dated people and I've made out with them and things of that nature. And personally, I was trying to even explain this. Like, I've said this before, where some men are, maybe anatomically bigger than your preference or bigger, too big to basically have sex with comfortably, basically. If somebody doesn't like know that beforehand, they may even be to the point where they're interested in having sex with that person, but actually realize they don't want to have sex with them because they're gonna hurt them, basically. Um, I don't think that if that person took advantage of the person that would be considered consent just because before they knew what they were getting into, that they were interested in having sex with this person. They weren't literally interested in having sex with that person until they're actually having sex with that person. Not everyone knows the whole ramifications of having sex with someone until they've had sex with them, basically. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how someone is with sex, how it's going to be having sex with someone until you're having sex with them. So you may, right beforehand, realize that this is not your type. This is not what you want, and back out of it. And to me, that should be obviously consent. So obviously, that situation did not prove anything. I do understand people were saying that she didn't report it and that her friend reported it instead, and therefore it should have never been brought forth. But that's not really that doesn't have to do with what they said was evidence that there was consent. To me, that's not evidence. That's just proof that these people knew each other and she let him into her house. That's not consent. Letting someone in your house is not consent. So I just don't understand why they kind of just like imply that if you let someone in your house and if you are basically, dating them or you made out with them or you maybe even if you held hands with them, maybe you stood too close to them, and apparently it's consent. That's not evidence. That's not evidence at all. So that's all I had to say. That just was upsetting to me, seeing that video and them implying that that was consent. That's not consent. That is just a lady who knows a guy who she happened to kiss. And from what everything they were saying about the situation, it was probably consensual, considering she did not report it. And, he, if they're both saying they had sex and that there was no situation of assault or anything, then, I mean, like, I don't have obviously anything else to say about that. But I'm just saying, as far as them saying about the video, to me, that video meant nothing. It meant nothing. It didn't prove anything. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Bye.